what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be making square people, but out of wood. We are going to be starting with doing a miniature Ray because, let's face it, I've got Ray on my mind. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's get on with it. So I will be using the 2-inch cube for the headpiece, and I also got a 1.5-inch cube, which I will be using for the body. If you can see that. Ta-da! See, it already looks like a tiny box person, and it's just boxes. The most expensive part of that little haul were these little square blocks. There is 42 of them. They're 1/2-inch square cubes. I will be using these for the arms and the feet and potentially any accessories that I want. I am not going to have them be perfect squares for the head or the body. I will be doing some adjustments. I want the head to be more rectangular and I want the body to be more of a trapezoid. I want it to have angles. So I will link all the boxes and the dimensions that I got in the description down below. You do want to make sure that when you are getting the wood, if you get a cube, make sure it's not hollow. So I'll actually link a nice miter box in the description below if you guys want to check it out. I almost forgot my eye gear.
Don't do that.
Don't do that, no. Listen to my honey. You don't want little tiny pieces of wood flowing up into your eyeballs and hurting your face. Cause you only get 2 eyeballs in your entire life. You get 2. No more. That's what you got. You don't want to ruin them. So, I'm gonna put on my eyeball gear. These are technically my onion cutting goggles because I don't like to cry when I cut onions, but I will use them for this as well because they are the only goggles that I have. So, as you can see, it looks pretty nice. I do need to sand this and this. Okay, so we got her face drawn on here. This eyeball seems a little big because I did it a little closer to this eyeball than I wanted it, so I'm gonna actually move it over a little bit, but I got her hair all drawn in. I got little ears over here. So she does have 3 little ray buns, and I am going to be using these little blocks for her little ray buns. I'm gonna be sticking them on there and shaping them a little bit with a Dremel. But for now, we are just going to be working with carving out the drawing that we already have on the face. So let's go. So we are going to be using a pen to draw on the pattern because if you saw previously when I drew the line with Sharpie for cutting it, it bleeds and kind of spreads out, so we're going to be using pen. So we are going to use our Dremel tool to start shaping this out. So we want like the belt and the tabards to be more outward. So we are going to start on the other surfaces and bring it in more. Don't forget your protective gear. This stuff, you need it all, okay?
Squirrel!
So as you can see, we've got a lot of the detail carved out, nice and carved out. We still need to do this chunk right here. Chonk. Anyways, we still have to do that bit right there, and then all the little fine line detailing in the tabards, and then the base will be done. What we're gonna do is we're actually going to be adding 3 little blocks, like these 3. Well, that's only 2, but you get the general idea. We're gonna be shaping these blocks a little more round at the top and a little more oval at the bottom, just so that it looks more a lot like buns than just blocks. You're so cute. Yeah. I am going to be using 2 blocks for the legs because one's not very wide enough. Because if you just kind of stick one down here, it looks a little funny. So I will be using 2 and gluing them together and putting them like that. Alright, so the next step I'm actually going to do is I'm going to start gluing stuff together. I got my little Ray buns over here. Look at those little buns. And I'm gonna glue them onto the back of her head. The glue I will be using is this Gorilla Contact Adhesive Clear Grip, so it's clear. It's kind of like super glue, but it's Gorilla Glue, which I think is the same thing. Same but different. Nobody knows. Anyways, it works good. It's a brand thing apparently, but it works good and I like it, and this is the cheapest option of all the super glue options, so you get the most for the money you're spending. So I'll also link this in the description below if you want it. So yeah, let's get to gluing stuff. We're gonna go ahead and glue them on to the bottom of the tiny ray. Stand up, darn it. Do what I ask you to do. Struggle. Like that. So we're gonna glue them on real quick. So our next step for our little ray is to attach some arms. I drew a nice little slant on this one. It doesn't go all the way over to this corner. There's still some space there. And that is going to basically attach onto the body a lot like that. And then I will be attaching another block on the end of there. Oh, look at our little Ray. Isn't she so cute? Just a little ray of sunshine. Hello, I'm Tiny Ray. So we've got everything glued together. Now we get to start painting it. Normally, any question you have can be answered by the wonderful internet. Sometimes, though, it does take a while, and after a decent amount of time searching on the internet, I found out that I can use the stuff I already have as a primer. I wasn't 100% sure because from what I was reading, for acrylic primer, you're supposed to use this thing called gesso. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right or not, but whatever. I have matte medium, but I wasn't sure if I could use it the same as primer, which was apparently the gesso stuff. And so after a while of searching, I found out that I can, and that a lot of people actually prefer to, because it leaves the surface more clear and less white. So I'm gonna prime my thing because you're supposed to let it dry for a decently long time. Since we did do a lot of sanding and stuff with this woodwork, I'm gonna just take a thicker brush and kind of brush it really hard just to make sure that I get all the sawdust and everything out of it. So today we're going to be using some matte acrylic paints to start working on painting our mini Ray. I'll be mixing some of these to make them more of a natural skin color. But yeah, let's get to work. So for the undershirt color, I was trying to get a really light off-white. So I added just a dot of this chocolate bar to white, and it actually ended up looking a little too purple. So I added a little dash of this, mixed it together, and I liked how the color was looking, but it was way too dark. So what I did is I just took a little dab on my brush, put it in a new hole, and added a lot of white to it and mixed it up, and I'll show you what the colors turned out to be. So this one was the previous too dark color, and this one is the color that I'll be using for the undertone white. My legs hurt from sitting all day. You wanna see it? This is honestly my first time even doing like wood carving, so definitely goes to say if you're a beginner and you're worried that, hey, I can't do this because I've never done this before. Well, I've done it, and I've never done it before. So you can do it too. I believe in you.